What's good? What's good? What's good? Happy 20th day of January 2016. What's good? First of all, before I go any further, I got to thank all the people who just encouraged me yesterday. I had some people who just was in my ear and asking me was I okay, and I appreciate y'all. And let me give you just a little um, let me just tell you what happened. So on Monday, Martin Luther King Day, I had an opportunity, and I thank Eric, a guy named Eric, who provided me with this opportunity. But I had a chance to speak at one of our prisons here in Michigan, and I'm gonna be real with y'all because we always keep it real. It was one of the hardest things I've ever done in my life, and here's why. Driving up to the prison, because I had never been there before, but we went to the prison on the left, and what I mean by that is there was a prison on the right as well, and so that right away was like, wow, you mean to tell me there's a prison across the street from each other? Like if we're in a neighborhood and we see a McDonald's up the street. And so we go in, and those of you who don't know, you have to go through this whole process to even get in. And then they already had to send my information in to just make sure I was cleared to be able to go. And so once in, and once I do my speech, and I really, I had something for the gentleman that I was going to be speaking to, but I just didn't know what direction it was going to go in. Because understand, we had 16-year-olds all the way to people who, been in there for 40 years, and some people who got life. And so how do you have this message that's going to be able to touch all of them? And so I'm going to be honest with you, and y'all know, I believe in God. So I just asked him to just speak through me like he spoke through Moses. And he provided me with exactly what I needed in order to speak to these gentlemen, because they all came up at the end and was just saying some phenomenal things to me, which I appreciate them. But here's what I said. I said that we all have a purpose. You've heard me say that again and again, and I'm gonna constantly say that we all have a purpose. And the gentleman who had life that was in the auditorium, I said, you have a purpose. And I know it's hard sometimes because you're trying to figure out what that purpose is. But I said, have you ever thought that your purpose being in this place that you'll never leave is to help these younger guys who will probably be there a year, 2 years, to get them to understand that this isn't the place for them. This ain't the place for them. That they can go out and get out and do some wonderful things on this planet. But they can't continue to get involved in a cycle that maybe has been passed down in their family. And the reason why I say that is because the gentleman who brought me up, he said one of the most disheartening things for him is the letters that they read. And you have someone who's been in prison for a while, and they're sending a letter to their nephew, and it's saying, when you get on the yard. So this person is already planting a seed in his nephew's head that not, don't bring your butt here, but when you get to the yard, this is what you got to watch out for. See, there's power in our words. We have power to create, and we have power to destruct. We have power to grow, and we have power to kill. The power in our tongue is so powerful. And so what will happen is, once again, what you believe in. So regardless of what people are telling you, what do you believe in? So that's what I told the older gentleman. I said, this might be your purpose, to talk to them and tell them that this ain't the place for you to be. And I said, the reality is this. You're going to have some younger dudes who ain't going to listen to you. And you're going to get frustrated. We all get frustrated. I remember one time, and I'm an Oprah fan, but I remember one time she had talked about, going into the high schools and how it's kind of hard for her because, we got high school students that aren't listening anymore. that all they care about is the materialistic things, the Jordans and the iPods, the iPhones, and different things like that. And to me, I was like, I don't think that's all they care about. I think that that's what society has told them that is important. But I think if we start to train them and get them to understand that there's other things that's important, they can take over the world. I believe that. I believe that every young person out there has the power to do some phenomenal things to take over the world. And it's not just the young, it's the older people as well. I don't think it's too late. I'm talking to prisoners. They got life. I'm telling them it's not too late. They're coming up to me at the end saying, I feel you. I do get frustrated with these young, but I got to keep telling them. I got to keep talking to them. Because wasn't it the old people who always told us? Well, they told me. I'm sure they told you too. Get an education. You know, at the time, I didn't want to hear that. Remember, I'm the one that got kicked out of 2 different high schools, graduated from alternative school. Never once I thought I would be this Dr. Damon Arnold guy. But they told me, get an education. And so I thanked them for that. Even though at the time I wasn't listening, but they planted that seed. Because see, that seed, once it's planted, and then you have other people, hopefully, that are speaking into your life, that's watering that seed. That's watering that seed, telling you what you can do. Because remember, unless that seed is watered, unless that seed has the sunlight, it can't grow. And so I thanked them for that. So I told the younger guys, I said, look, I said, man, you're in a situation right now where you have to make a choice and a decision. You have to make a choice to do something different or continue to do the same thing. Einstein said the definition of insanity is doing the same thing, expecting a different result. So when you get out, if you continue to hang around and do the things that you've done to get you here, you're going to be back in this place. That's how life works. That's how life works. That's how life works. Whatever you continue to do, whatever you continue to feed, that's what's going to grow. Whatever you don't feed, that's what dies off. So if you feed this thing that tells you that you gotta have this, but you're not willing to work to get that, you want to just get it by any means necessary, then there's going to be consequences. From every choice, every decision we make, there's consequences. Whether it's going to be negative or positive, there's consequences. I know we all know that. So look, I do this this little activity with different groups, and it's called the change activity, because I believe in the importance to change. And I think if you haven't heard any of my other videos, you can go to my YouTube channel, Dr. D.F. Arnold, and subscribe, and you can access that video again. But that video talked about how, you know, you got to be willing to change. You know, change is inevitable. Growth is optional. So I do this activity where I have people change their clothes and change them around and whatnot, and they're with a partner and they're back to back, and then they turn around and they got to guess the thing their partner changed. But here's the thing, getting to the end of it, is this is what happens. This is the reality. And this is probably what you're dealing with right now on the 20th day of January 2016, because like I said, we all go through it. We all go through it. But we got to break that state. We got to get ourselves to a different position. We got to give ourselves to think differently about what this year can be. We can't give up. It's too early to give up. It's too early to give up. And I don't mean too early in just because it's January 2016. I mean it's too early because we ain't on our deathbed. So it's too early to give up. And so at the end of the activity, I do this. This right here reminds me of all of us, myself included. See, right now, it's the 20th day. And so right now, you've probably been stretched because you had all of these New Year resolutions, and you had all these things that you was going to do and that we promised that we was going to do to be a better person. And then all of a sudden, what do? We go back. We go back to what's normal. Just like this rubber band. I stretch it out. What does it want to do? A lot of people say it want to pop. Nah, it don't want to pop because I'm holding it right here. And it's right there at the resistance. But what this rubber band wants to do is it wants to go back to what's normal. I can stretch it out again, stretch it out the same distance. I can even stretch it a little bit further. And what does it want to do? It wants to go back to what's normal. Here's the reality. The reason why this rubber band wants to go back to what's normal is because it's comfortable in this position. See, it's comfortable in this position right here. And that's how we are. We're comfortable in a certain position. But in order for us to truly grow, we got to break past the resistance. We got to break the resistance, because it's going to be resistance. It's going to be haters. It's going to be naysayers. It's going to be people telling you what you can't do. But you got to break past the resistance in order to grow. Just like a weightlifter. A weightlifter ain't never going to get stronger if they don't break past the resistance. Come on, y'all. It ain't too late. It ain't too late. It's time to break the resistance. It's time to break what people have said about you for so many years. It's time to break through that and become who you were destined to become. It's time to be that person that you know you're supposed to become. See, this morning, I'm hyped. And guess what? My alarm clock didn't wake me up. My dream woke me up. Let your dream wake you up. Let your dream push you to that position that God wants you to be in order to receive the promise. Let's go. I'm out. Have a great day.